Hey everyone, and welcome back to GM Details. Now in today's world where we have to keep everything ultra clean, our car's interiors is certainly one thing we have to pay particular attention to as well. So we're going to have a look at Garage Therapy Zero Interior Cleaner. So the wife's car's just about to get traded in, so just to give it a quick clean up, we're going to use a drill brush, we're going to use a little bit of wet extraction as well, and possibly a scrub pad for the dash and sills. So let's get into it. We're going to start off here with a 1 to 10 mix. That's for general soiling, just to see how it goes, because as you can see the seat really isn't in a terrible condition, just general grime over the last 3 years of ownership. The seat hasn't been Wetvac extracted yet or anything, so generally a quick clean over, and we're going to just extract it with the wet and dry cleaner just so you can actually see how much dirt that the cleaner is removing. Now if you're wondering why I've only sprayed half the seat, my initial idea was to do it a 50-50, then realised that half the seat would still be wet, so it would give a false sort of look to the seat, so gave up on that and just went with the whole seat extraction. Now with this bit of footage here just slowed down, you can just see there the discoloration of the foam as it's bringing it out. It's not overly foamy when you apply the product, work it in, and it's not overly foamy when you extract it, so it's actually, what I've found anyway, is ideal for using in these extraction machines. So as well as cleaning and obviously brightening, freshening up the fabric, it's actually got built-in odour neutralisers just to give that factory fresh finish and scent to the seats. Now it's not everyone that has a drill brush attachment and a Wetvac extraction vacuum cleaner. You can still get great results just with a spray, work in with a brush, and then remove any residue with a damp microfiber cloth. Next up we're going to take a look at the door cards. Now there's various different types of plastics on this door card. You've got that sort of heavy embossed textured surface, with the insert being a little bit less embossed and still textured down to the fabric, then onto the piano black trim, and finally to the grub areas down where you just sort of get out the car and kick the door. And of course we'll give the door sills a good clean up as well. Now I'm using the same dilution as I did for the seats here, 10:1 dilution, which really means that you're using 45 millilitres in a 500 milliliter spray bottle. Now here I'm using the Scrub Ninja pad from Autofiber. I got these sent from Amazon, paid well over the odds for 3 pads, and now copied the world over. Most places now sell them in a pack of 3 or 4. In County Detail and Supplies they sell a pack of 4 of these pads for £10. I'll drop that link in the description box for you to check out if you so wish. I prefer these pads now rather than using a hog's hair brush, not only because they're a wee bit more kinder to the different grades and different styles of plastic that you may have. They certainly are a little bit less abrasive than a hog's hair brush, for instance. But anyway, back to the product in hand. You'll just see, just as the finish buffing off the bottom of the door card there, about just there, you can just see it flashing off to have absolutely perfectly OEM finish. It's really nice, that is. More work for the scrub pad onto these door sill areas. If you look closely at the pad, you'll see they're microplastic fibres, and they obviously with the product will actually be able to work in, especially on these textured plastics, and do really well, like a really deep clean, much better than you would do from any hog's hair brush, and of course the time saving element is a bonus as well. You can either use the microfiber part of the back of the pad to mop up, but I would just prefer using my own microfiber towel, cloth, whatever, and just look at the state of that after only doing 1 door and 1 sill. Absolutely disgusting. Now I keep a clean bucket of water beside me, just if the pad gets a little bit too grimy, you can just give it a clean out and then give it a rinse, just a hand wring out, and it's good to go again. Now, Garage Therapy interior cleaner is a concentrated cleaner, which means it's not advisable to use on its own. It's too strong, so you have to dilute it down. You can use tap water, or if you prefer, you can use distilled water. And hopefully with splitting down the 10:1 in the actual millilitres per millilitres of water, then that'll be easier for you to work out your dilutions. And a little bit later on in the video, we push those dilutions just that little bit further just to see if it's still effective, so hang around for that. If you're interested in what it smells like, it's a natural scented product. Now the natural scent comes from a citrus based chemical, so it's a chemical that comes from like the zest of the citrus, so it naturally smells of, it's kind of citrusy, but it's more orange in this one. So it's a really nice fresh citrusy orange smell, and also with it being that sort of natural citrus, it does actually give some sort of natural disinfectant characteristics. Now it hasn't been tested for COVID or anything like that because those tests are really expensive. Now I'm not saying that Garage Therapy have said that it will kill off the coronavirus. It will be effective against many colds, flus, any kind of virus, any kind of bacteria that's in the car. It's marketed as an interior cleaner, not an antibacterial cleaner or a biological cleaner. But as a vehicle interior cleaner, it's absolutely spot on. Now I have never been one for dressing up plastic dash trims or anything, so this, what you're seeing, is what it's left after removing with the cloth. Yes, the steering wheel needs a clean, but that needs a leather cleaner, and interior cleaner isn't advisable for use on leather. Anyone remember Roland Rat? You'll never look at another Ford steering wheel in the same way again. Sorry. So, GT interior cleaner, cleaning up some of the dirtiest pedals you've ever seen. Don't think these have been cleaned for some time, even the carpet. Every time I go out to clean the car, the missus just disappears out in it, so very rarely get a chance to do this. Don't worry though, the carpet will be cleaned before it goes back. Promise. And we're still on the 10:1 dilution. Don't see any reason why we need to change it up for this. Agitating with this Hogshair detailing brush and it should come up just fine. Now I'm just using the same cloths here that I did on the dashboard. The cloths themselves, they're kind of getting towards the end of their usable life, certainly not for the paintwork anymore, so they got downgraded to interior use only, and now I'm just going to use them for some of the dirtier jobs because they're just getting a bit discoloured. They were a special purchase by Into Detailing. They were a kind of fleecy type microfiber rather than the sort of loose fibres. A little bit difficult to use bunched up like that on paintwork, but nothing lasts forever, does it? So we're just going to go back in with a second hit because I wasn't really too happy about the finish that it left. There was a little bit of dirt in the sort of crisscross patterns there, so a little bit more, see if it, yep, it's still coming out brown, much the same way as you do with your tyres. Your pedals just made of rubber, just the same, just the rubber tips on them, so you go at them again and again until the foam eventually turns white. And this is the interior of our new car. This is the stunningly beautiful MG ZS interior from around 1994 by the looks of it, and a vast array of various different types of shitty plastic. So this will be a great test bed for any kind of cleaners or dressings that I might want to use on different plastics. All manner of lovely textured, just yeah, lovely. Anyway, back to the product. Now here I'm using it at 249:1. That's a bit strange, isn't it? But the way I work out my dilutions are as follows. I take the 500ml bottle, or in this case a 250ml bottle, and I divide that by how many parts I want it to be. So if I want it to be divided by 250 equal parts, it's 249 parts of water to 1 part of product. And in this case, that means 1 milliliter. And that makes an absolutely ideal solution just for a quick wipe down. And the total cost of use for using that 1 ml is only 2p. Now I think just for a quick spray and wipe that's exceptional, just especially as little dilution at that 1% and 2p worth of product. I've heard people using Built Hamber Surfex HD at 1% as well in their interior, just as a quick blast down. And these cup holder areas are a bit dusty, grimy as well, just needs a little bit of a spruce up. Just agitate the bottom just to try and lift any of those little sticky areas where some of the juice spills over from the McDonald's cups. And with only having 1% of the product actually in the solution, there's no foam to mop up as well, so that actually not only makes it just a little bit quicker to mop up, but it just leaves that nice OEM finish behind and a little bit of fresh scent of the orange. Keeping with stretching the dilutions a bit for just that little bit longer, we're going to try this out at 49:1. Now that's still only using 10p worth of product. And we're going to use this on this door sill here. This is the bit where obviously your feet scuff in and out. Now using this with the scrub pad. Still not getting much foam at 49:1, but these dilutions aren't advertised as recommended dilutions. I'm just pushing it a little bit just to see what the product can do. And if it can clean well but doesn't foam, then it's still a winner, because it's still pulling a hell of a lot of dirt into that scrub pad. Now, like I said earlier, you can turn the pads around. It is a microfiber pad on the back and you can wipe away any residue with that. So we'll just remove the tape. So what do you think to that? Personally, I'd give it another hit, maybe some brush work in between the lip there, or between the paintwork and the sill, but I think it's done a pretty good job for only using 5 milliliters of actual product. I've seen worse. Now let's see how 49:1 does on the pedals. Let's speed it up. I found it interesting there that when the pedal became cleaner, it then started foaming up. So you could then say that that dilution, that any dirt that's in the material or the substrate you're trying to clean will prevent it from foaming. So the whiter the foam, the cleaner the surface. And that brings us to the end of the video. I hope it's been of some help, and if you're thinking about trying Garage Therapy Interior, I'll pop a link down in the description below. And if you have any other comments or questions, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video. Till then, cheery bye now.